Hey.
Hey, what's up? Been a while.
Oh my God. We're coming to you live from the Salt Lake City area. We're at, you're going to have to forgive us. We're at Steven's house, and it's been a thing for the last several days, and we'll fill you 8 days. I said earlier, I spent a month 1 week in Utah, and that's this week. We'll explain to you what we were doing here. Well, he lives here, but what we were doing here in a minute. But first, let's catch up. Aaron, what have you been up to? How's things? I saw a Texas Precision Performance ad on Facebook today.
Nice. That means that my marketing dollars are going somewhere. I don't know where, but they're going somewhere.
Yes.
So we tested the car like 3 weeks ago down at Concho Valley, San Angelo, Texas, and it didn't go great, but it didn't go bad. We had a small issue and let some smoke out of the wires in the shutdown area, and burning wire when you're in the shutdown area is never a great smell. Trace that back, know where it's at. Haven't fixed it, but I eliminated the circuit, so it's not an issue. It goes to the brake lights, is essentially it. It's the brake light circuit, so we're not running with brake lights anymore because all the lights work in that car.
Right.
It was 102 degrees outside. We went a best of 633 on new tires on the third pass, which isn't bad. But we had to do a kind of I wouldn't say a wholesale change in the 4-link, but we had to drop the bottom bar down the other hole, front and back, had to lower the car down basically an inch in the back to get the weight percentage back kind of where it was at, because it was 53 on the front and 47 on the back. Before it was almost 50-50. So I probably pulled another 1.5% back to the back by lowering it down. And so the car should leave a lot cleaner than it was and carry the front end a little bit further. They do no prep and prep on that track, and they alternate weekends. So it's really tough to go out to that track and expect and they do a good job. Don't get me wrong. They do a great job at Concho Valley, but you're going to a track that had a bunch of no prep cars on it, and now they put down spray and stuff, but it's just not the same as when it's prep events.
Right.
So, but we're going Saturday back to Concho Valley, and we're actually going to go to a bracket race and see if we can turn on some power there and park the girl in the dance floor.
Nice. So I'm dumb, so I'm about to say something stupid. Like, hey, what time are you going to be there? Maybe I'll come.
Gates open at 3. I don't expect you to make it with your brain fried status.
Right in the nose. Oh, God.
No, gates open at 3. Racing starts at 5, which is the heat of the day, which kind of sucks. But we'll be making first round probably at dusk. So it'll be a late night. I got AC in my trailer, so I'm okay. I need that.
This is starting to sound better, Stephen.
You started off by saying it's going to be hot, and then you said I'm heavier.
Yeah, exactly. You buried the lead there, big dog.
It's only supposed to be 98 this time instead of 102. Wow. Yeah. So we'll see how it does.
Awesome. So you're excited?
I am. I'm excited for competition because all we did is go to a test and tune and lay down 3 laps and knew I needed to change the suspension, put it back in the box, took it home. There's no reason to just put laps on it. And I'm not a test and tune guy. I'd rather go racing and get my ass handed to me than go to a test and tune.
Gotcha. And what are the stakes for this weekend?
Oh, it's cheap. It's $100 entry, $1,500 to win, $400 to runner up. So it's just a crack bracket race. Nothing big.
That's perfect.
I'm going to hit the one Pennington Brothers are putting on a race at Extreme.
Yep.
In October. I'm going to hit that one. And I'm going to crash. I'm going to crash on your couch.
Okay.
I'll send you my reservation.
You reserve it on hotels.com so you get points.
Yep. What do you got going, Ryan?
Yeah, what have you been up to?
Oh,
Have you recovered yet from the week of mega-ing?
yeah. I mean, yeah. I have. It took me a minute, but I'm good. I'm good now. Well, so besides Mega Week being like the biggest, coolest shit that I have done in the last few days, I'm also now a member of Moonshiner Garage. Me and Thomas have talked, and I'm going to start going over there. We're going to start making content together. So, my
Nice.
channel didn't really ever do what I wanted it to do, so I'm still going to do my channel. But he wants some more creative stuff done on his channel, and we've talked about it, and he asked me to join forces with him. So we went down there this weekend, mapped out a year's worth of content, and I'm actually going to
Nice.
try to schedule it and do it like a real thing instead of flying by the seat of our pants like we normally do. And so that's like the biggest thing on the forefront. But
And where's he out of? I was just looking that up. I can't remember.
Thomas who?
near Waco.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
that's not horrible.
That's 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and we're actually going to meet.
And you have to drive by me to get there. So
Yeah.
maybe I'll tag along every once in a while.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
That'd be fun.
We got some really good ideas. I'll share with you. I think you'll dig. But we're starting off with our first content we're going to do together this weekend. We're going to be at XRP on Sunday. We're taking Jake's S10. He's taking the Moonshine truck out, and then his driver Kevin is bringing his Malibu. And Kevin has challenged Jake to a grudge race between the small block powered Malibu and the S10.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So the Prime Dime has got his first call out?
Prime Dime's got his first call out, and I'm going to let Jake let it hang. So,
dude,
yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's Sunday night?
Yeah, Sunday afternoon. We'll probably go out there like 4 o'clock or something.
So I definitely can be there for Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, we got Dave's bringing the turbo staying out. I think a couple other people are going to come out. It should be a good time. Test and tune, but we're going to try to spice it up a little bit.
Where's that at?
Okay. XRP.
Up in Ferris.
On Sunday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's their test and tune night. It's, what is it, 25 for a tech card?
I want to say it's 30, maybe.
30, maybe. It's cheap, dude, and it's great. And there are a ton of cars that show up typically.
What time do the gates open?
The gates open around, I think, 3, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
On Sunday, though?
Yeah.
Yep.
And they run till like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
I got a lot of work to do. So
yeah. This past Sunday we went out to test my buddy's wheel stander, Tony Caprio, and they, I guess they had a big like a big wheel deal out at NS. So all those guys came there, and they had like guys trying to make their money back. It was pretty cool. We didn't stay for the whole thing, but there was a lot of fast donk cars out there. I mean, fast.
That's awesome.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. So anyway, that's what I got going on. Just trying to rejuvenate, get back in the swing of life instead of vacation and ride around race cars with my race car people.
Right. Well,
Thank you.
To fill the rest of the world in on what Stephen and I have been doing, we're I'm here at Stephen's house just outside of Salt Lake City, and been here since. Well, it was supposed to be late Tuesday night. It turned out to be really, 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 really early on Wednesday morning that he picked me up really early, like 2 a.m., 1:30, something like that. And we were here for something some of you probably have seen, which is the Vibe 200 that Derek Beery and David Freiberger have been talking about as the dogs are whining at us. Bella is like, I want to whine at you. Why are you not paying attention to one? I'm so cute, though. Look at me. So anyway, they've posted up stuff about the event. We were there. I was working as sort of race director, and Stephen and I built all the cars. So if you have not seen the pictures of that, I have no pictures ready to go on here, but we can pull something up from Freiburg. Send them to me on Messenger. We had to buy 6 and build 8 Pontiac Vibes. So Tate Morgan acquired 3 of the cars in Oregon. I acquired 6 cars, one of them being a parts car, between Texas and Montana and here in Utah. And we wrapped every car, full wrap for their sponsor livery, put wheels and tires on them, provided by Wheel Pros and Nitto. Did custom exhaust modifications so they all sounded like actual race cars. And then we put AC Delco spark plugs, Wix XP oil filter, Mobile One ultra high mileage, the shipbox to race car edition of the oil. And then what else? We did what else did we put on? Oh, we put harness bars from Summit Racing Equipment and Race Quip harnesses. All the drivers also got Race Quip fire suits and all this stuff. And of course, the piece de resistance, the icing on the cake, a 50 shot of NOS nitrous. I mean, come on all of the cars. And the good news, oh no, we can't say that. I was going to tell you a result of some stuff, but we can't say results. So the cars lived really well. Let's just say that, right?
They took a lot of abuse.
They did take a lot of abuse because people suck at driving things. But it was awesome. Like we were having a great time for sure. And so, yeah, so it's fun for sure. We had a great time. It was a ton of work. We are completely wiped out. I feel like I can't even think about my own name right now, but yeah, so this is Derek Beery's car right here. The Super Start Batteries car. Oh, wrong way. Rusty Suburban Pictures. What am I doing? Screwing it up. Going Messenger.
Pause for technical difficulties.
I am having technical difficulties. Why are you doing this to me? Okay, here we go. Okay, can you see that now?
Oh, yeah, we got it.
Okay, so
There.
This is the AC Delco car that was driven by Brad DeBerti. This is the O'Reilly brake parts cleaner car driven by Redneck Science Weston Champlin. I use the term driven loosely. This is the Wix filters machine driven by none other than Tony Angelo. All of the wraps were I shouldn't say most of the wraps were in some way, shape, or form influenced by the drivers. Tony's has a full alien abduction going on. He's being abducted. There are no probes present. I told him I was a little disappointed in that.
Missed opportunity.
It was way missed opportunity, yes. The Rain-X car, super rad, as you guys can tell. Yeah, totally looking like a comic book theme. Again, Wheel Pros and Nitto hooked us up with the Nomad grapplers and a set of wheels that make these things look like rallycross cars. I mean, these things look like legit race cars. It's pretty cool. This is Alex Taylor's ride. As you can see in the picture, there's a dude over here on the back door. He has a name tag on that says not Alex Taylor. That was from the U-Pole Fantastic Paint Crew.
Come to find out, that's just some random guy.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
There's he's not involved whatever with U-Pole.
Yeah. Or Alex or anything else.
It was like a stock photo that somebody paid for.
Yeah.
So we have no idea who he actually is.
Right. It's some random dude. And her car was SpongeBob SquarePants themed without having SpongeBob on there because otherwise we get in trouble. But people that are SpongeBob fans would know. She also brought a pizza box and what else? There was something else she had. She had a whole get. Yeah, a whole bunch of stuff. It was pretty cool. This one belonged to Ray Ripple. If you don't know who Ray Ripple is, you totally should. Ray is a badass. We had a really good time. Her and her husband Evan came, and we got to eat dinner with her one night, and she's super rad, like really neat artist, total motorcycle chick, not really a race car girl. I'd never strapped into a set of harnesses like this before. But she had a really good time. I mean, a giant smile on her face. It was super, super cool to meet her and hang out. Steven and I, we did have a good time hanging out with people. We worked our asses off. Steven pounded the same 10 stakes into the ground 65 and a half times for giant feather flags. And then I don't know how many banners we all hung up, but it was a lot of like tubs of zip ties worth of banners. And then this one was the Mobile One car of Tate Morgan. Tate is awesome. Love that dude. He was super fun to have on the shoot, of course. Yeah, he was great. And then there's some shenanigans that went on and what have you, and a lot of racing and just a lot of fun, dude. It was crazy. We'll have more behind the scenes stuff to share, and like we'll have a bunch of cool race stuff that we'll be able to share as it gets closer as well. But it's gonna be interesting. Yes, that Rebel Driver's right. Alex wore SpongeBob's hat or whatever. So it was pretty neat. We had a good time. Obviously, Derek, it was fun. So we raced at what used to be Miller Motorsports Park and Utah Motorsports Complex, and is now something or other Brothers Motor Park. There's lots of different kinds of racetracks there. That's all I'm going to say. And we had some fun with them. But today was our final day. We had to shuffle cars around, get stuff ready to ship some stuff back and forth, and actually went out to Bonneville. It was me and Steven and Derek and Chad Stewart from O'Reilly Auto Parts and Matthew, who is the director and producer of the show we were shooting. So we went out there to shoot some other fun little things, which was pretty neat, and had a good time. So that was cool. We may or may not have partied last night. There may or may not have been hangovers present this morning.
Doesn't appear so.
I know. Derek and I didn't look at each other like for most of the day. It was not good. It was awesome though. We had a good day. So now we have a parts car in the driveway that doesn't have a rear axle in it. So we got to put that in from the car that was not good, and do some finagling and some cleanup. Poor Steven's driveway looks like a crime scene. If anybody's used Oil Eater before, or has a favorite product for cleaning a driveway, let us know, because we're planning on going and picking some up tomorrow and doing the cleaning action on the driveway. He's got his pressure washer, and we can get some product that we'll see. But if you have a suggestion for driveway cleaning, let us know, because we're going to try out Oil Eater. Isn't that what we decided? So. Yeah. So unless you have a better idea. But yeah, it's been fun. So big thanks to Steven and Claudia, because Claudia was like super patient with us and fed us, and saved the day with graphics when there was a need, which I can't tell you why. And brought her Corvette out to the racetrack to give people rides. So
that's cool.
Yeah, we had fun. So it was good. The group was awesome. The O'Reilly Auto Parts crew are really, really nice people. The drivers were all great. Last year we did the Aztec 200, which was Tony Angelo and Alex and Tate Morgan and Derek. And this year we added 4 more to the mix. And it was fun. So when did they say that we were thinking that they were going to put the teaser stuff out? A few weeks, right?
I think it's going to be a couple weeks.
Yeah. So just pay attention to that. If you haven't yet, subscribe to the O'Reilly Auto Parts YouTube channel. There will be some, stuff mentioned on Derek's channel, but the episodes are going to be on the O'Reilly Auto Parts YouTube channel. So, big thanks to Chad Stewart, aka Chad Squared is what we are, or the Chads. He's also Junior Chad, Black-Hearted Chad. We had lots of nicknames for Chad. The other Chad, the quiet one. Yeah. So, and Allison and Diane, it was great. So we had fun, but man, it has been a brutal amount of work over the last, 8 days. Today's day number 8. It feels like day number 38. We barely made it home today. There was the chance we were going to have to stop for a nap.
Yeah, you've been a busy little beaver lately,
That's an understatement.
Yeah. And dude, it was like Steven was driving home, and I was like doing the where you drop your phone because you're nodding off. I was like, I'm fine. I'm all right.
I'm not tired.
Yeah. I will tell you one thing though. If we could give you a pro tip, like to everybody that's watching out there, super pro tip. If you find yourself with 2 cars that cost, it actually doesn't even matter what they cost. It doesn't matter how cheap they are, as long as they're not something expensive. You would be amazed at how big a smile and how much belly laughing you will do if you run into your friends and or family in cars. And I don't mean at speed. I mean like literally just backing up in the driveway and bumping into each other.
Yeah.
It is ridiculous.
There were bumper cars that have been had.
A lot of them. Like one thing that I will say, and I wish we had video of this, was at one point there were 3 Vibes in a row in the driveway and then a 4th in the garage under the lift.
It all just had to move.
Yeah, they all had to move except the last one, about like 3 or 4 feet each. And the one in the garage had to move like all the way out of the garage. So we just pushed it and it rolled and picked up speed and then ran into the other 2 and made them all go to perfection. Perfect. Awesome.
That's right where I wanted to put that.
Yeah, when the wrap guys take the mirrors off of cars so they can wrap them, and then you have to move them around so you can't see anything, and you just back up until you stop. It's great. I am not kidding. We need to find some $500 beaters, and I'll mow the grass down and do a little grading on my 1.5 acres next to the shop, and we're gonna get after it, dude.
I've already got mine sitting here. I've got a 90 model Ford with a 300 straight 6. Let's go.
Oh, dude.
I got 9.8 acres. We can have a whole course.
Aaron Spitzer Motor Speedway.
Oh, don't play with my emotions.
I know.
So, random story here, just real quick. So, when I worked for another company, we rented minivans because we were at SEMA and we were staying out of the strip. We thought it'd be great to rent a whole house for all the guys to stay in and everything else. What they didn't realize is that we played bumper cars with the minivans going down the freeway all the way to SEMA and all the way back every single day. It was awesome. Yes. Bump to pass.
It takes a considerably more effort to set off airbags than you might think. So I'm not saying that as a challenge. I'm just saying that gentle nudging and bumping, or in the case Steven ran into me the other day.
Like 25 miles.
What were you in? Were you in an Aztec?
Yeah.
And I was in the Geo.
You were in the Geo.
Yes. Gave it.
Yeah. Gave it the beans.
It turns out also that cars that won't run when you use the starter, because it won't turn them over fast enough to make up for the fact that they have no compression. It turns out if you push them fast enough with another vehicle, they will run.
Let's give it a little help.
3-cylinder Metros, when revved up high enough, sound pretty good.
Hey,
bring back push starts. Make push starts great again.
Oh, dude. The fun part is the Vibes are Toyota Matrixes with different bodywork basically and interior, and They either have a 1ZZ or a 2ZZ 4-cylinder in them, and they're like variable valve timing and all kinds of saucy stuff. And the regular base models, the rev limiter, these are all like early to mid 2000s, like 2003 to 2008, 2003 to 2008. These things, if you put them on the chip, it's 6,500 for a base model. If you put them on the chip in with a on the GT, it's 7,200. Yeah. And when you cut the muffler, here's the best thing about these cars. If you cut the muffler where the exhaust comes over the axle and goes straight toward the back of the car, then it makes like a slight angle and then a 90. If you cut it in the slight angle, after cutting the tip off at the angle that comes out of it, the tailpipe, then you can flip the tailpipe over and stick it directly on the other one and weld it in place. And these things sound great. They are throaty at low RPM. They are, I'm not going to say they're as throaty as a Boxer 4 in a Subaru or something, but I would say that they are equally
They sound very
good.
Sport bike-ish.
They do. Oh, that's true. At 7,200, the GT sounds like a sport bike. It really does. They're great. Yeah. Lycan says, Lycan, you are the man. I love this. Lycan, who's blind, literally says, so what you're saying is I could drive like you all did.
Yeah.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. In fact, I think we need to have an oval track demo derby bump into each other race, and we need to get somebody to ride shotgun and just give instructions to Lycan so he could drive in the race. Blindfold all the drivers, they have a navigator. That is awesome.
No, I'll do it.
Oh yeah.
I'll do it.
I'm in.
I'll do that in a heartbeat.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, that's great. Neil's raising his hand. He's like, wait, pick me. Oh my God,
awesome.
that's great.
Dude.
I love that idea. Yeah,
I think it's a
Doug
great
Billy
idea.
says he'll be a co-pilot. He'll ride shotgun. This is great.
Where's Lycan out of?
Pterodactylus.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
I mean,
That's
you
my
can either see
boy,
the crash,
Ruby.
you can either see the crash coming, or you can have the blindfold. I think I'd rather have the blindfold.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point. We'll get all the safety gear though, so everybody's good.
Yeah.
Except, hey,
No, you just don't peel the protective film off.
off the race clip helmet.
I think-
Yeah, perfect. I think that everybody also has to have curb feelers that are white with red tips.
I like that.
Now, hey, mount the passenger seat backwards, and the person who can't see has to use a handheld mirror.
Oh my God. That is evil, and I
Yeah.
like it.
Come on, let's do it. Right.
Barnes
I mean,
said,
left.
I'm
I mean,
only
left.
blind in one eye, so I can do circles. Which eye, Barn? We'll make it if we have to go around right or clockwise like the Canadians do. Let us know, and we'll twist it. Mix it up. It'll be awesome.
Where's Lycan out of? Where's he at?
The Bay Area, like Silicon Valley, Northern California Bay Area.
All right, we gotta get him out to Texas. I don't know if they'll allow this kind of effery to go on in California anymore. This is definitely gonna have to be a Texas thing.
It's got
I
to have
know you can do it in San Martin. I have friends that do, but yes, I'm with you. Wickman is sending messages apparently. Okay. Apparently, the racetrack that is east of Waco. Wickman sent me the guy's name and said that we can totally make this happen on his. Well, it's an oval that's fatter at one end. I love it. It's more egg shaped. I'm totally
fine.
down with that.
Oh yeah,
We need to do that.
Is this happening? Are we
We're
I mean,
planning events apparently now.
breaking news right here on bankshift.com?
the bankshift.com 100.
Who's in on this deal? Dude, if we did, hey, Limpy, you want to come flag it, the whole thing? You have to do like reds and blacks and whites and things, Limpy, at this one. It'd be awesome.
I see
Robert Bird
Piston Jones up in the
Rob Bird is
comments.
saying, what the hell is Steven doing? Do you really want to know what Steven's doing right now?
I'm scrolling market.
Right. Yes, he's scrolling Marketplace and looking at some things for some other dumb ideas we already have had today. Matt Frost says he's in.
He's in.
Dude.
Hey, Piston Jones, you in? I know you're watching. Are you in? Come on, dude.
I know Rob Bird would be in. Hey, but here's the deal, Rob. You can race in it, but your lovely wife has to be your co-pilot. Hey, we're not responsible for divorces either, okay? Oh, my God. Claudia's in.
No, I heard divorces.
No, not on divorces. We're going to do a circle track race in the dirt where the driver is blindfolded and the co-pilot is not and has to do instruction. So do you want to drive or do you want to be the navigator?
I would drive.
I think so too, because I think that otherwise,
I don't think I can give good directions.
I think you could, but I think you'd strangle Steven halfway through the race. Yeah. Steven would be like, I can't breathe. Claudia's like, exactly. It'd be awesome. Oh my God. Oh, Limpy is in. He gave an oh boy. Perfect. Yeah, that's it. That Limpy, oh boy means sign me up. Yep. Yeah.
Thomas.
Oh God. Kristen Jones, like, I'm not even sure what we're talking about, but I have a feeling his next post is, but I'm all in too.
Thomas.
Oh my God.
Listen, Thomas, we're talking about Moonshiner Garage. We're gonna build a freaking car. You're gonna navigate. I'm gonna drive because I don't have the balls to do that. And we're gonna win this thing. Let's go. Come on.
That's the spirit.
Matt says I'm blindfolded and I can't hear. Oh my God, it might have to happen sooner than later. Oh,
we gotta come up with a car.
We had a good time. We're wiped out seriously from this vibe deal. I am so tired, and we still have a day and a half of working and outside, but it's okay. We did good. We had a good time. The O'Reilly Auto Parts folks were happy. We set out to build cars that were safe and that people could have fun with, and we did all that. Again, I want to thank all the sponsors. Really want to give a shout out to Alan Rebisher at Summit Racing Equipment. They really stepped up on the harness bars. I was trying to pull out a card. I'm going to post a card up and tell everybody to go do Google reviews for a local Les Schwab tire place here near Steven's house that totally hooked me up as well last week, which was rad. So yeah, it'll be great. The Barn and Neil are probably gonna partner up for this driving duty. That'll be great. I can't wait for that. It's perfect. So we're gonna move on to another topic though. So we talked about the Vibe 200. As part of the buying of all these Vibes, and the fact that I've been searching for a 3/4 ton Suburban, if you have a square body OBS or square body, OBS, or GMT 800 3/4 ton Suburban, even a half ton if it's nice, not 4-wheel drive, 2-wheel drive only. Hit me up. I've been looking, but Steven and I have been venting. Now he's looking for that. Ooh, that one's okay. Except it's a K. Steven and I have been ranting about marketplace ads. So I'm going to start this off and then we'll see. You guys have to put in some. So I'm going to give one example of the idiocy that exists with people selling things. So probably my biggest pet peeve are these two examples. Number one would be somebody that puts up a post. They have 5 pictures that are mediocre of the car. Speaking of which, so unless your car is pointed at the camera this way, right? Correct. See, that's the shape of a car more, right? This is smart.
It's the little things.
This, however, not smart for shooting pictures of cars. This is smart. Unless you stand it on its end, you dumbass, then this is how you shoot pictures of cars. But if you do shoot 5 pictures of your car and it's good, but there's none of them are of the interior, and then I send you a message that says,
what does the interior look like?
Yes, or interior photos, question mark, or any other variation. And your response is, why do you need to see the interior? I hope you fall down on a very sharp object and it either goes in your ass or your eye. Either one is fine. You suck. You people are horrible. The best one though is when somebody puts up like 1995, 3/4 ton Suburban, clean inside and out. Let me know if you want any other information or message for more details. Message for more details. And I send a message to you and go, hey, let me know all the other details. You should never respond to me with what details would you like? Because the answer is all the stuff anybody else in their right mind would need to know about the car, you idiot.
All the shit you didn't put in the ad.
Correct. Like, I would like to know, I don't know, maybe let me see what engine's in it, what transmission is in it.
Has it been smoked in?
Yes. Is it broke? Is it any of those things? Does, you said it has a new engine in it, but it says it has 745 million miles on it. So a little bit of,
Do feral
information
cats live in it? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can
Yeah.
I just say,
Yes.
that's me on a daily, because when you instruct people to take photos and they submit it online and they're all dark,
Yeah.
what the fuck am I supposed to look at?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
Claudia buys used cars for a living.
I
Like,
deal with
literally.
this on a daily, bro. I deal with this on a daily. I'm a claims guy, and people send in their own photos. It's like they take it through their butthole. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, did you literally put a butthole in front of your camera?
Can you do that? Is that a new iPhone 16?
I don't know, but I sure hope so.
Yeah, it's in the next update. No, there was a truck that was for sale. I sent the guy a message and I said, hey, can you get me some pictures of the underside and of the roof and of the bed? And it's literally pitch black, dark out, and the truck is dark gray. And I'm like,
hey, there you go, bud.
Anything in the photos.
Right.
So
Hey.
the effort it took you to go outside and take these things, you didn't even turn the flash on. So I don't even know what these photos are of.
Yeah.
There is a Suburban that you say that, and it reminds me, there is a Suburban that I looked at the ad for that was clearly in a carport, and the only light that was lighting it up was looked like neon, like blue neon light or something that was down at the ground. You couldn't actually tell what color the car was.
Yeah.
Like, it defies description.
You know what?
What about you, Aaron? What's the one that drives you nuts when some idiot is listing something on Marketplace?
It's just the lack of response. You're there to sell something. Okay, so if I send a message to you, and I sell stuff on Marketplace too, not for my business, but individual stuff.
Right.
And I'm always cognizant of if I get a message for a listing, I respond as fast as possible. At most, it shouldn't take you more than 45 minutes to respond to a message.
Yeah.
Correct. If you're selling something, you need to be paying attention. Yes.
Yes. And it's just like, I sold some pavers that we were going to use for a patio. And it's like, I included the Home Depot, thing where it shows the dimensions and everything else. And I have people ask me what the dimensions are. I'm like, pay attention to the details in the ad. I mean, people are just so quick to, how much does each one weigh so I can see if I can fit it in my half-ton truck? You're not getting a pallet of pavers in your half-ton truck. I'm sorry. Okay.
Right.
Don't bring an El Camino either. People are morons on Marketplace. I'm just about done with Marketplace. It's just a pain in the butt to deal with. And if you list something and is this still available? I don't know. Is the ad still up?
I will tell you, though, one of my favorite things is when there's an ad that's like a year old, and I will send, like, I don't just do the click it, is it available? I go, hey, man, are you still selling this thing? So they know it's not a bot or a whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, then if somebody goes, oh, man, I thought that thing was pulled down. I'm really sorry. It's been sold. No problem. But people will go, no, clearly it's been a year. So then my response is, clearly you're an idiot and you don't know how to pull down your ad or mark it sold.
Mm-hmm.
I want to kill people.
The
When I-
internet is hard for people.
It is hard for people. I love the misspelling of Camaro makes me want to scream.
Yeah.
If you spell Camaro with an E, it's $5,000 off, or I get to shoot you in the leg.
It's a Camaro.
Yeah. Yeah. Camaro. Yay. Oh, yeah. You know, and especially, okay, I understand if you don't know a Camaro well and you don't have anything on the Camaro that says Camaro spelled correctly, but when people do a close-up of the badge that clearly says Camaro with 2 A's and then spell it Camaro, you're a different kind of special, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. God.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Short bus with a helmet.
Sending more messages for things to into each other, apparently. That's not good.
Yeah.
I do have to say, oh, here we go. Hold on. Lycan says Copart now stands for colonoscopy. I like that. Okay, here's one. So Dark Blaze 176 says Facebook Marketplace are hard to loom through. Same with OfferUp. Oh, dude, I gave up on OfferUp years ago. OfferUp was good for about 8 minutes, and then it got screwed up. Craigslist was better than all of them, and I know I sound like an old man.
Oh, yeah.
It's totally
But
true.
it was.
It was way better.
So was Auto Trader because there was a phone number you had to call.
Correct.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now my favorite is well, I actually have 3, but the number 1 is Nova 1970 big block 17,500 or trade values $25,000. I'm sorry.
And then you look at the photos and it's a 4-door.
Yeah. What kind of wizard voodoo math are we doing here? You know what I'm saying? Like
It's probably a 74 with a 70 clip and it's a hatchback.
Yeah, even worse. No, okay. You know what's funny? You say that. I'm the opposite pet peeve. Is the guy that's like big block suburban, 3/4 ton, rad lowered, all the things, blah blah blah. $1 is the listing for trade only.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why? Why for trade only? Are you opposed to money?
Oh no! Speaking of opposed to money, we were looking at a set of used tires for one of these cars, or for the little Geo, and it said Cash App or Venmo only. Chad says, "Will you take cash?" And the guy says, "No." And I'm like, "What?"
Fraud.
He said no. He would not take cash. And when I messaged him back and forth and actually bought said tires, by the way, and I said, "Are you really telling me that you won't take cash money?" And he goes, "Well, if you pick it up today, I'll take cash money."
I'm like, "What difference does that make?"
Yeah.
I did pick it up that day. I then I jumped out of the Tahoe. I needed to buy these literally in 3 minutes because the tire store that I needed them to swap them with was about to close.
It had 10 more minutes before it opened.
Yeah,
I'm gonna pick them up anyway. What the hell? I'm gonna pick them up anyway. So what does it matter?
I go to him though, and I go, "What do you want? 100 or 520s?" Right? I didn't even have time to negotiate. I held him up, and he goes, "I'll take the 20s." And I handed him the 20s and started yanking the tires out of the trunk of his Sentra. And literally, I'm setting them in the Tahoe. He's like, "I need to make sure these are good." I said, "Then I suggest you hurry up."
Yeah.
He says, "Okay," as I'm literally have already closed the hatch and I'm walking around the side of the Tahoe.
You're already leaving.
You don't
Now,
have
granted, listen, I understand because here 2 or 3 years ago, I took some parts, put them up for sale, and I sold them to a guy that I hadn't seen in 10 years, but used to street race with him back in the day. And the sack of shit gave me $600, and 3 of the $100 bills were movie money.
No.
And I didn't catch it because I didn't count it because I knew him. And he was like, "Holy crap." We started talking, shooting the shit. And yeah, he sure enough gave me $300 in movie money. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that was nice.
This
Yeah,
one's good from Rebel Driver. Just testing the waters, not sure I want to sell it.
But
Yeah.
you went through the
Yeah.
effort.
Yeah. What the other one I like is motor runs good, but it's currently got a starter issue.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Or runs good,
Or
but carburetor needs a tune-up.
Yeah.
so we also, one of these vibes that we were looking at, the guy says one of the things in the ad, one of the items that he actually listed was new battery.
Yes.
Right? Chad goes to look at this thing and it has a battery from 2014 in it.
Yeah.
And Chad goes, "That's not a new battery." And he's like, "Well, but I just put it in."
Yeah.
That's not the same thing.
It's new to the car. I mean, I literally just got it from the junkyard a couple days ago. It's nice.
Here's the best part about that one, though. This dude goes, I said, right when he pulls up, I'm like, okay, this thing looked worse than he said it was. And I said, all right, well, let's go for a ride. I at least need to drive it and see what it's like. And I was in a hurry and I had money in my pocket and I didn't care. I'm just buying cars, dude. Like right now, buying cars. Okay. And I go, you do have the title, right? He's like, yeah, I got the title. I said, okay, hold it out. Yeah, okay. And so I'm like, all right. And the dude like shuts the driver's door and starts putting his seatbelt on. And I'm like, are you going to let me drive it? We have mariachi music playing at Steven's house.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Why not again? That's wonderful.
Okay, let me tell you, at 7:30 in the morning,
That's not okay?
yeah, you know,
So-
grandmother
Oh.
is hanging out from the window, and she's being serenaded. At 7, I'm getting ready to go to work, and I'm like, what in the actual F is going on here in West Jordan, Utah? Like, nobody's
This is
prepared.
the whitest place ever. Where are they?
They're me.
You're the only brown person in the neighborhood. Well, clearly they are.
Yeah, but I didn't want them to like think it was my fault. Like I planned it. You know, everybody in the neighborhood can fucking hear it.
Oh my God, that's too awesome. Oh, I love it. We get mariachi on our podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, so dude, like I said, he's gonna give me the test drive. I'm like, dude, are you gonna let me drive it? He goes, well, I don't trust anybody driving it. And I'm like, excuse me? And he goes,
You're
well,
talking about a $2,200 car.
No,
Correct.
No, $800 car. Let's be realistic.
yeah, well, we may have paid 22 for it, but it's worth 800. But he says to me, well, I don't know that you're not going to grind the gears. And I said, I have $3,000 cash in my pocket. If I grind the gears on this thing before leaving the driveway of this sit-go gas station, I'll hand you the $3,000 cash and get out. And he was like, I said, I drive a stick car every day. He goes, lots of people say that. I said, nobody says that.
Yeah, not in 2025, bud.
No. So what he didn't know is because he had given me the wrong directions, I had passed the gas station. And so I had to go around the block. So I already knew the test, route, which was, Weatherford International Motor Speedway at this time. So it's a GT car. So I go out the driveway, grab second gear, and literally run this thing to redline, going through all the gears, and then rev match, downshift 2 gears, and hang a right turn at the next block, and go up to a stop sign. And I stop and I look over and I'm like, driving okay? He just looks at me. I drove it back over to the gas station. I said, it's not worth what you want for it. And he goes, well, I'm not willing to negotiate. I said, okay, have a nice day, and got in the truck and drove away.
Congratulations, sir. You just kept yourself another. What kind of car was it?
Pontiac 5.
Yeah, Pontiac Vibe. Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah, it
people
was
are
great.
weird,
Oh, yeah,
man.
Piston Jones. Cranks, but won't start. That one's good.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
dude. It's like,
What was the other one the other day that... There was something the other day. There was another one that we were...
how
Runs
about no
runs
title?
great, no issues, and all the lights are on the dash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, that's a good
That's
one.
a good one. for
Oh, I know. Me and Steven did body work on a car the other day that we looked at and subsequently bought. The automatic car. Remember the quarter panel?
Yeah, he's like, oh, there's a dent in the quarter panel, so we pulled the inner panel off the inside and kicked it out.
Crust. Yeah.
I'm like, that'll look better.
I was like, that's fine.
Yeah. We'll take it.
No, I always like the my all-time favorite is no title. I could get one, but it's next.
Why would anybody in their right mind in the state of Texas, especially where bonded titles are okay, which if you're wondering what that is, that's a way for you to legally steal cars. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. You don't actually need to own a vehicle to register it in the state of Texas. If you do want a title for it, though, you can just say you didn't steal it, and then they let you put a bond on one. And as long as nobody ever goes, hey, dude, that's my Chevy pickup, then you own it. It's fine. It's weird. I don't get it. But yeah, I am also dumbfounded by the people that are like, I lost the title, so you're going to have to get a bonded title. You know, every DMV on earth, regardless of what country you're in, has a form to fill out for a thing called I lost the title.
Yeah, it's called a duplicate title.
Yes. I don't understand. I mean, again, people, seriously.
Yeah. And 9 times out of 10,
I used a big word, and a friend of mine was like, why'd you use a big word? And I said, you know what? Because in the world we live in today, what we have done is we have dumbed ourselves down to the idiots. And you know what? Maybe we should try and lift the idiots up to the rest of us. So we're going to start it off with marketplace ads. Yeah. I bash people in marketplace ads now all the time. Like they're like, oh, I don't know. Why would you want to know any of those things? I don't know. Would you buy a car without knowing what engine, what transmission, or how many miles are on it? Because if you would, I've got dozens of them, including a 55 Chevy school bus.
Yeah. I mean, like the thing about the title thing is, okay, there are cars out there without titles. I get it. Some states don't even require titles. Okay. So I totally get that. So just say, hey, car doesn't come with a title, but it is free and clear. So you can obtain one. Right.
Correct. And I will be happy to provide you the VIN so you can verify that it's not stolen.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you don't want to do it for the fee, I'll go and do it. But I don't have a reason to title the car. Not I could get it, but I'm not going to.
Right.
I had somebody I asked for the VIN number on a car that was for sale, and they were like, I don't give that out because I don't trust scammers.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
bro.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. How do you scam somebody with a VIN number?
What information am I going to get out of the VIN number on this thing?
Other than finding out that it's a 5.3 and a whatever and a this year and whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so stupid. People that put their finger over the license plate, like
yeah. Dude, this one
or just their thumb in the photo.
Dark Blaze just notified me of something that breaks my heart. In Arizona, they changed the law that you don't need to have a notary for titles anymore. You can find a title in a glove box, sign it with a random signature, and legally steal a car. So the reason that's a big deal is for years I have said, if you are buying an out-of-state car from wherever it is you live, Arizona is the safest one because it has to be notarized to prove that it's you that are actually the seller. But the thing is, they're changing that now. It's not as easy as just signing a title and stealing a car. But I get your point for sure. Wow, why would they go back? That's like Texas banning weed all of a sudden again. What are you idiots doing to me? Sorry.
Yeah, Oklahoma's the same way. I had to go through that with Jake's. It was notarized. Thank God.
Oh, see,
yeah,
I like that.
Yeah.
Wickman says, I traded off my Volvo wagon. I get a random text from the new owner. Oh, hey, can you get me another title? I left it in the car. Someone broke in and took the title that I left on the dashboard. Yeah. You're too dumb to own a car. Ride a bus or get a bicycle. Stupid person.
Yeah.
I think it's a hit song right there. I think I can do it. I have the voice for radio.
I want to hear it.
Yo, yeah, dude. You're a songbird over
I'm not singing the rest of it, Claudia.
I want to hear it. How many shots of whiskey is it going to take to get you to sing?
More than I had last night. I had a hangover this morning. That's very unusual. I didn't like it at all. But not as bad as Derek. Derek was hurting
You
this
want
morning.
some electrolytes?
I've been drinking it. What do you think's in this chingadera right here?
Could be
Liquid
I don't
IV.
know.
Oh, well, I have a funny story we're going to tell you about something else, but we're not talking about it live, that you will die about. But oh, God. Oh, and then on the other side of things, when we were buying one of these Vibes, we bought one as a parts car, and it said that the transmission didn't work, but otherwise it was a great car. And we go to it, and it won't turn over. And then Steven says, pop the hood. I open it. The battery terminal's not on. He touches it. Everything lights up, and I fire this thing up. And we're like, let's try putting it in gear and just see if it moves. It supposedly had no gears. Put it in drive, and that thing drove right out from behind the house, but it did not make it all the way to the trailer and up. But it was amazing. Every time it was cold, it would move. You know what that means? All it needed was some 90 weight. If we put some thick oil in it, I'll bet.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, hydraulic fluid.
It
Put
was
hydraulic
great.
fluid in it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so good.
High guard.
That's so good. So if you have other Marketplace Moron stories you want to share with us, you can email me, chat@bandshift.com, or message me on Facebook, and we'll share them. Steven and I are going to start doing a segment that's Marketplace Morons. It's going to be great. I was going to do Facebook Marketplace Follies, but that's too nice to people, so we're doing Marketplace Morons. It's going to be great. If you'd like a Marketplace Morons t-shirt, Claudia is going to design the logo. She just doesn't know it until right now.
She's gonna get voluntold right now.
Voluntold.
Yep.
Yes. So awesome. Okay, so the other thing we're going to talk about tonight, drag and drive drawn. Dude.
Oh yeah, there's been a little bit. There's been a little bit. I think I've made somebody mad once. It's fine.
There's some stuff going down. I'm very opinionated on drag and drives. You guys know that. I think everybody should do whatever drag and drive makes them happy, though. I have no qualms about any of that.
100%.
The only thing that I would say is a drag and drive that is, a week long and only travels a total of 500 or 600 miles is totally great. There's nothing wrong with that at all. However, there is something wrong with people on it going, oh my God, what a torture test. This thing is, what a horrible, torturous week on this drag and drive. Like, dude, you have to drive 60 miles a day or 80 miles a day. Like, dude, come on. Right? So just don't bullshit a bullshitter about what it is. Have fun, enjoy it, do all the things. They don't have to all be 8,000 miles like we do on a Rocky Mountain Race Week, but if you want to actually put yourself through the most torturous deal, then do that. I mean, ask Stuart who's watching. Stuart went through 645 spark plug wires in his big block Camaro, didn't care at all. You know why? Because it ran tens, dude, for the first time and was rad. And it doesn't matter if, dude, the rear end fell out of it. He didn't care about that either. It's a 10-second car. So come on. It just doesn't matter. Do whatever you like. However, just don't pretend that a 600-mile 5-day drag and drive is the same as a 1,500-mile 5-day drag and drive. That's my only thing.
We are not.
Tell me what your opinion is. Let us know in the comments. Aaron, what do you think?
I think that basically you gauge your vehicle to what you can accomplish. So like with Ryan and his son, it's a great stepping off point. It was great, for them to do this, and that they can end up doing Rocky Mountain Race Week in the future. But it was a great first run with the truck, and no complaints from them. They had a great time. But I mean, why would you build something to only go 500 miles? We only got to go 60 to 80 miles a day. I mean, you can do that around a town in a day. Okay. If your car can't make it around a town in a day and drive 50, 60, 70 miles, you know what? What are you doing drag and drives for? Is it because you have a 5-gallon cell and you got to pull over every 5 miles, or you didn't build it right? That's the problem. We
literally had this conversation the other day, and I said to Steven, think about it. If you only have to drive 6 50 or 70 miles, you can idle there.
Yeah.
If you race for 6 hours, then you have 18 to get to the next track. You can idle at 10 or 12 miles an hour and still get a full night's sleep.
I mean, I personally have never done a drag and drive. Personally, never done one. Want to do one. Haven't done one. But I mean, I look at some of the drama queens online that do them and stuff, and it's like, you know, like you said, a grueling event and all this. And the Olympic drag and drive that they did up in the Northwest. I know the course they took. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. But there's a ton of lookouts. There's a ton of, you know, scenic stuff to pull over and look at. I mean, it's not like you have to cruise down the freeway in 105-degree heat at 80 miles an hour.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't get the drama behind it.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at Rusty, the dog. He's having a great time with the pillow right now because they're both looking at us like, you're not paying attention to us. Why are you not paying attention to us? Oh my God, I love the dogs. They're so good. I miss my Otis dog. I brought my Otis Cup though this week.
I love the Otis Cup.
Right?
I love the Otis Cup. That's awesome.
Yeah, this one's great because he's given the side eye.
Yeah.
I love it. So, okay, but here's the Steven's done Rocky Mountain Race Week with me. One of the only times we didn't drive the car from home to the event and back, and we just couldn't, and the time frame wasn't going to work. But you know, we put my 69 Camaro convertible together in 13 days and then did all of the trip. And we didn't have any major issues whatsoever. And it's not an extreme combo or any of that stuff, but
We had like a dipstick tube issue.
yeah, that's right. But it was fun to do the road trip.
Yeah.
Like that's part of the whole thing.
Yeah, it was a blast.
You know, and I mean, it's not a fast car, so, or it wasn't in that, you know, configuration. So, you know, it didn't matter, but man, we had a great time and we saw cool stuff and we ate good food and we, you know, hung out with our friends. And Alex was just sharing that memory. Oh no, wait, that was the year I climbed in the trunk of her car, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was like 5. Yeah. So she just, that memory came up.
2019.
Yeah, that memory came up on Facebook yesterday, and Alex shared it, and we were laughing about it at the bar last night. Tony Angelo was like, Chad, what? And Alex goes, he climbed in my car to prove he could. It was awesome. Yeah, Matt Frost is saying Jim's Falcon had a 9-gallon fuel cell in it and went 1,300 miles. Like, that's, I mean, in a 9-gallon fuel cell, that is not going far. But here's the reality too. If you have a brand new car, okay, brand new car, most people don't want to spend 2 hours in it. Most people do not drive more than 2 hours. They won't. They got to pee. They got to do something, whatever, eat.
Get a snack.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. So what? So if you only had a 9-gallon fuel cell and you're going 70 mile an hour and you got to, you know, stop every 70 miles or 80 or 100, so what? It's cool. You get to see the world. I love it. Good for them. You know, I know a lot of people that do all the drag and drives with no overdrive or any of that stuff, and they still have a great time, you know? So,
It's fun.
yeah, why not? You don't have to
You're
have.
not going to do 85 miles an hour the whole way.
Right.
But
But
who cares?
yeah, but who cares? You know, I think it's great. But like I said, there was a huge amount of drama, people talking smack, you know, long versus short. You know, Matt, who's on here, he was being very vocal about it, stirring the pot, which I love, you know, because it's just fun. But the reality is he wasn't bagging on any of the other ones. Again, he's saying the same thing I am, which is you just can't call them the same thing, right? That's the big point, is that it's not the same. I mean, you guys,
Chad.
you drove the truck like 10 miles before you left town, and then you met me at a gas station that was 70 miles from your house to start off Rocky Mountain Race Week, and we had a couple of things that we tweaked on And then that thing gave you fits, little bitty fits that were really annoying the whole time, that were stuff that never would have came to light if all you did was cruise around town at 40 miles an hour.
Right.
So, all right. So, if we're going to talk about this, I've been holding my breath until we got to this moment, and I'm trying to be methodical about my words, but I'll just say it like this: there's levels to everything, right? From the kid who's driving the Honda Accord all the way to, Larry Larson, right?
Right.
And at every level, the stuff is expensive, right? It's expensive to maintain a car. It's expensive to improve on a car, right? And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what stage you're at. It's an expensive thing to do, and it is a challenge. And yes, me and Jake got in the truck and we drove it from here untested. 30 miles is all I put on it, and we drove it. We didn't trailer it there. We were trying to figure out how to do it. But I eventually just said, you know what? We do streetcar stuff. That's what we do. So if we can't drive this thing the whole way, then we're going to learn something from it, and we're going to come back and we're going to fix it. And the next time we're going to make it.
Right.
Because that's the way it should be. That's the way the challenge should be accepted. And so I look at Rocky Mountain Race Week much different than I look at Sick Week or any of the weekend deals. And Drag Week, obviously, Hot Rod Drag Week was obviously a big thing. When it first started, that's what I was watching. I was like, oh man, this is something else. This is amazing watching this stuff go down. But it felt like it was just the main stage for the big players. And so after a couple of years of watching, I'm like, sitting at home, that's all right. I'd poke in there just to see who's doing what. But when I found Rocky Mountain Race Week for the first time, I found myself at work that week with it on my phone the first time it was live streamed, and I wasn't even paying attention to work. I was just watching what was going on. And I thought, man, I really, really like the way they're doing this thing. And I always wanted to do the Colorado, the OG one, right, in Colorado. I've never been to Colorado, and I thought, man, what better way
we did. We did Colorado.
Yeah.
And it's epic. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure it is. But when they brought it to right up our back door here in Texas and Oklahoma, I was like, dude, we have to go on this, whether we get in or not. And we tried. Like, I remember what I was doing. We were at Jake's soccer game, and I coach, and I told my co-coach, I got to sit in the car and try to sign us up for this deal because this thing goes fast. And me and my wife were both sitting in the car. We're both trying to get signed up on the phone, and then we got kicked out. Like right as we were putting our card number in, we got kicked out because it was already full. And I was so bummed out. I was like, oh man, I cannot, and I didn't think to get on the alternate list. So we just did the road week portion of it. I was like, well, we'll do that. We'll do it in our old cars, and we'll see if we can make it in that. We'll see if we can enjoy it and come back and feel, feel good about it, and then we'll try again. And my son looked at me and said, Dad, I want to do this whenever I'm old enough. And then when they started the junior street thing and he started watching Blaine, he was like, Dad, I want to go. I want to race Blaine. I want to race Blaine. And I'm like, he's going to be older than you by the time you get in there,
Right.
So, but we made a pact, right? That when he turned 13, that's what we were going to do. And we went, and it was the most epic thing ever. Like for us, it was awesome. And what I feel as a person who has come and experienced it, and as a competitor, not as somebody watching it, I look at Sick Week and I'm like, it looks like it's fun too, but it's not near as hard, and I like the hard part. Like when we're on day 2, we're driving to Missouri and our drive shaft is so bad that I can't go over 49 miles an hour. And that 5-hour trip turned into 9.5. We roll in there at 1:00 in the morning. I look at Jake and I'm thinking to myself, I just failed this kid. Like, we're doomed. This is done. I should have turned around and pointed this truck south. Like, we got no business being in Missouri with this thing. But then Bradley stepped up and Chris stepped up and they helped me get the thing fixed. And we finished. And it doesn't even matter if we win. It's just, man, when we rolled in the gate and I saw Matt and he was holding the placard, I was so ecstatic, and I watch these other events and I'm sorry, there's something special about Rocky Mountain Race. And the fact that some of the people that really made their way in the world on video and everything else that were not there for the 10th anniversary really pissed me off. Like I was like, I was really perturbed by it. I was like, how many other ones of that same one happen a year? We get one or two of these a year. Where are you at?
Right.
Told me everything I needed to know.
Yep.
And I told my son, I said, look, hey, some people will do stuff, get to a certain point, and they choose that easy road. And I get it. It's a business decision for these content creators. Totally get it.
Yes.
And I understand you have to look at it from a business perspective. But I'm sorry, I understand YouTube. I know what kind of money is made on YouTube. I know how it's done. You're getting the views, you're getting the money, regardless of where you're at. So don't tell me it's a good business decision. It was an easy decision. You took the easy way out because you're in the easy part of your life in the content creator world. And it's easy to go 60 miles and then go and set and edit a video and get it out for the day.
Right.
But the thing that irritates me is how many, this is the part that really pisses me off. My son's been watching one of these people since he was like 8 years old. And how many of these events have a spot for kids to race? The ones that are coming behind you that watch you. You should have been there to support that because that's one of the groups that support you.
Yeah.
But the also way I look at it is, guess what, bud? Cool. You just made more room for everybody else. And some of these other kids, and the thing that gets me is like, as far as coverage is concerned, there's a major player that covers races. They could have sent somebody there and given the other people that have been waiting for an opportunity some type of spotlight, but they chose not to. That's cool. Yep. May not choose to click that video next time, bud. See what I'm saying? It kind of goes two ways. So I got a little pissed about it. But I didn't even notice until the last day, to be honest with you. At the last day, I was like, where's everybody at? Because me and Jake were just so engulfed in what you're doing. I didn't have time to think about it. But then when I stewed on it, and as time went on, then I see this stuff, I see these posts and all this stuff. Like, look, at the end of the day, man, look, Rocky Mountain Race Week is the Iron Man, Iron Woman of drag racing, period, end of discussion. You choose not to do it, totally up to you. But I feel like there's some people that should have been there to support it because they made it where they are off the back of the event. Kind of shitty. Well, I'm just going to call it spade.
I love that you say that. And I also love this response from Matt. Matt said it upset him too that people that started with them didn't come to the 10-year, but he said, we'll make new heroes. And I love that.
Absolutely.
That's the Levi Holt commenting, Junior Street is a huge driver for us being there. So grateful for the opportunity. Obviously, other events are starting to do Junior Street, but we started that with Rocky Mountain Race Week. Matt did that as early as possible, and that's awesome. And it's so cool to see the kids doing it. Also, Mega Week, was a double event. We had 58 women who competed. It's more than 10%. Unheard of. I actually did a little research and found out that the average drag and drive is somewhere between 4 and 5%. We give out special awards for women to recognize them, and those have nothing to do with the competitive side of things, so they can still win their class or win the event or do any of that. But it's awesome. It's really cool. So obviously Rocky Mountain Race Week, near and dear to my heart. Drag Week, I love it as well. But I don't care which event you like. If you prefer one over the other, good on you. But again, to me, just let's not be flippant about the fact that some are harder than others. Okay. Yeah. That's it.
Well, so I got to say something about Levi and Knott's 1320. So that's Sean. So Sean's daughter, Molly, was the one that won the shootout in the white Mustang. Okay.
Yes.
And they're great people. I mean, I've made some of the best friends on Rocky Mountain Race Week. Mine and your friendship started on Rocky Mountain Race Week in 2021. Levi, he lives an hour from me. Okay. Do you know how many nights at 3:00 in the morning I'd be sitting on the back porch smoking a cigarette after busting my ass on that truck all day? And that dude would say, how's it going, man? And I'd be like, oh my God, you're still awake? Yeah, I'm thrashing too. me and this dude would talk to each other, never met each other, but we pushed each other, you know? And that is something that you don't get from your normal drag race event. You don't get it from, you know, I've been racing and in and around racing my whole life, and you don't get that kind of push. You might from your inner circle, but you don't from other people you don't even know. And that's what makes this event so damn special.
It is.
And I can't, dude, next year, I'm telling you right now, I got a plan to do some stuff locally here for Junior Street stuff. Next year, we're going to bring a shit ton of kids for Junior Street.
Yeah.
Like,
Awesome.
I love it. I absolutely loved it. And I can't wait for the next one. You know what I mean? Like financially, I could wait because I got a lot of stuff to pay off now. Yeah, that was just really, really draining trying to get that truck done. But but I can't wait, you know? I can't wait.
Well, and you know, Junior Street's important not only for all the reasons that are obvious, but also like for you, Aaron, right? You're a performance parts manufacturer, you know, seller, etc. It matters to you because those are your new customers, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
for the longevity of the industry and the sport, that matters.
I mean, I wish I could have made it there. I saw that somebody else from up north made it there, and they had a great display, and good for them. You know, they're good people. But at the same time, I mean, I want to make the next one. I do. I want to make the next one. And,
Yeah.
you know, I didn't think about it because I was following along with Ryan and, you know, everybody else on the Mega Week. But I get what you're saying, Ryan, because there was some, we'll just call them content creators that are very influential, that could have been there, that could have put a positive vibe out for the Junior Street guys. And I mean, these kids have been watching it for years, and you hit the nail on the head, and you hit something that I didn't actually see or think about when I was watching. But there was guys there that could have, hell, they could have paid their whole trip in T-shirts. Okay, let's just be straight with it. They could have easily, and all they had to do was show up and, I mean, make a half-ass effort. And I'm kind of sad that they didn't. And you're right. I may not be clicking on that video or everything else because it doesn't make sense. Because, I mean, listen, when I was early drag racing, I hated junior dragsters. Absolutely hated them. They were noisy. The parents warm them up at 7:30 in the morning, and sometimes I'm hungover. You know, so it sucked. But, you know, I thought they were noisemakers. They were annoying in the program, everything else. And then I realized as I raced more years that that's the future of drag racing. Junior Street's the future of drag racing. It's all about these kids getting involved in motorsports is going to be the future. And, you know, that's important to foster, because if you spend all your money on your truck, your kid ain't going to have any money for fucking drugs. So, you know, that's it.
Right.
Well, and you learn so many
Good
damn
way to
lessons.
think about it.
Dude, you learned so many lessons on this week. Like me and Jake went through, and I think I tried to capture it as best as possible, but we went through a sea of emotions. Like, we were extremely happy. We were scared. We were bummed. We were tired. We were happy. We were bummed. You know, like, we were up, we were down. And there were moments where he probably wanted to open the door and kick my fat ass out of the truck. But
yeah, approximately 7.5 times that happened, he told me.
yeah.
You're alive only because I talked him off the ledge.
Yeah. See, look how much he learned. Like, he learned that when he needs to blow off steam about Fat Dad, he can go over and talk to Chad, and Chad will talk him off cliff. But like,
Which is true. You know what? Okay, but hold on. That's a really good point, and I don't want to derail you, but
yeah,
Stuart just said I was ready to give up when I broke my rear end, but your dad wouldn't let me. You know, Jake is, you know, feeling the frustration, and you tell him, and you did this, you told him, dude, go for a walk, go see Chad, go whatever, go ask Chad this, because you know that there's times when you need somebody else to be telling you something, right? But look at Jake has, you know, I mean, you can call me Uncle Chad, you can call me Dad Chad, whatever, but when you're on a drag and drive, you have multiple parents, right? I mean, Matt and June can attest that all their kids who are now adults, which scares the shit out of me, when they were little kids, dude, they had like 50 parents at the events every time, right? Their kids knew that Daphne and Chad and everybody else here will whoop your ass if you're doing something wrong, or will help you when you need it, or whatever. And that's so strong, that community. And you get that at a lot of Dragon Drives. I'm not saying that's only a Rocky Mountain Race Week thing. Maybe it's better at Rocky Mountain Race Week, whatever. But the reality is, for Junior Street, because we do that, that's an important thing. Dude, you give kids the ability to deal with lessons that, I mean, think about how many kids at 15 would lose their mind when the car was breaking or their video game broke or whatever. And here you had to work your way through it. And I know it was stressful for him, some of it. But, dude, that kid was smiling from ear to ear every night when he made it to the hotel and
buddy,
every time he got in the car.
Man, I learned so much from him. And see, that's the thing. Like Matt said, you learn critical thinking. And Levi is also right. Don't let me book hotels. You will probably get questioned or possibly implicated in a domestic battery, assault and battery charge.
Yeah, not domestic, assault and battery.
Yeah. Again, accused.
Hey, but we cannot talk about an active police investigation instead of
I think I'm still under. And then 30 days before it goes away. Anyway, so that's not important. What is important is you don't book hotel rooms in Tulsa. You don't let me book them because I'm going to book them through a third party. It's going to cost you next $185. And but you do learn critical thinking, and it's it's something that when you're a parent and you take your child on a journey that you're unsure of, you learn a lot about each other. And there were things that Jake really surprised me about with his quick thinking. And that kid navigated us like nobody's business. I'm like, he just took it over. And we made one U-turn on that long drive day. Like, he did a phenomenal job. And it's something you learn about your kids along the way, is that, holy shit, I actually did a pretty good job. And he's soaring on his own,
Right.
And anyway, I'm going to get off my soapbox. I think that I hope, and it sucks, like, because, I put a video together, and the video, it flops because no one watches my channel, but I would hope that somebody finds that video and watches it and goes, holy shit, I need to sign my kid up for a Dragon Drive, and hopefully they do it at Rocky Mountain, because I'm a huge dude. And then, hey, as a promoter myself of one race at one facility, I know what kind of effort it takes to do that. And I can't imagine what Matt and June go through trying to put this thing together. I understand that it is a logistical nightmare, and it's physically and mentally a beatdown. And I get that. And I appreciate you guys for putting in the effort to do this thing and keep it going, because I know in 2021, I thought, man, I'm never going to get a chance, because Matt was fired up at the award ceremony. We thought, oh boy, we're not even going to get to go. But I really appreciate him and June pushing through and continuing to do what you do, because Rocky Mountain Race Week is a special event. So
Steven posted that he only threw me out of the car once on Rocky Mountain Race Week. And I have tried to reply, but YouTube apparently doesn't like me saying I tried to kill him, because I said I only tried to kill Steven once with carbon monoxide during our That is accurate. It turns out that when you combine carbon monoxide and 12,000 foot elevation, poor decision.
It's a doozy.
It is. The good news is he recovered quickly. The bad news is that it was not good for the very short period of time.
Remember trying to put the shifter in?
Yes.
The shifter, and I'm like, I can't see straight.
At which point he stood up, walked around the back of the truck, our car in the trailer, booted in the grass, turned around, came back and worked on the shifter, because he's a trooper. He's awesome. Oh,
That's
God.
also how I met Adam Dory for the first time.
Oh, that's right. I'm so sorry.
I got out of the car before Adam. I said hello to Adam. Walked over and threw up in his bushes. And Adam's like, "Who are you bringing to my house?"
That's right. That's how it started. I forgot that.
It was the night before.
The night before. Yes, we did. We literally walked up to Adam Dory's house because we were staying there. And I knocked on the door, and Adam opens the door, and Steven's green, and he literally just turns and pukes in the bushes right next to the front. I totally forgot about that. See, now it took my message. Yeah, now it took me. I only tried to kill Steven once.
It doesn't think it's violent.
Apparently. Oh, yeah. Rod says, don't say kill, say unalive.
Unalive. Yes.
It's English. Kill is a word. I will say this, Matt Frost and I are very good friends. I love that dude. He and I have gotten to be really close over the last 10 years, and he puts on a hell of an event. And there are a ton of other cool events that are going on in the country right now. Narcs and those guys have listed that there's like 52 of them or what have you. I will say that we are working to name a new date for my Drag and Drive event. And after some encouragement and stuff from some other folks the last couple of days, I'm going to make a couple of little changes, and I think it'll make it pretty cool. So stay tuned for that. Also, just in case you didn't know, Beers, Burnouts, and Beer Apparel is in existence. Aaron, there's stuff coming your way. You need to send me your address. I printed a couple of things and gave one to Ryan to wear at Rocky Mountain Race Week. I did as well. What made me crack up, however, was that his wife thought it was in a dirty clothes pile and took it, so he couldn't even wear it on Rocky Mountain Race Week.
Yeah, she met us at Ennis, and she's like, "You may take your dirty clothes home." I'm like, "Yep," and I accidentally handed her the wrong pile, and I was like, I was going to wear it the last day, and I was like, "Where's my shirt?" And I said, "Did I send that home with you?" And she goes, "Yeah, I washed it." I was like, "Oh shit." And so I was going to wear it tonight, but I wore it yesterday, and it's in the wash again.
That's awesome. I love it.
I got one little tidbit here at the end.
Yeah.
So I talked to I will say sources. Speed Promotions canceled New Hampshire.
Ooh, okay. That's what I was going to ask if this was about that deal. Okay. So wait, but for folks that don't know what Speed Promotions is, that is the company that is now doing
NPK basically.
Yeah, essentially No Prep Kings, but they're calling it the Outlaws or something like that. And I'm not bagging on them; they're putting on a good show. And my conversations with some of the street outlaws is that it's fun events and all those things. But after how many events have they done so far?
I think 4, maybe 5.
Yeah, I think 4 is right. Now they have canceled New Hampshire, you said, and
all of Canada, 3 events in Canada. So the next event's in August. And according to my sources that I will not name, it is because of lack of participation and lack of attendance.
Yep.
Wow.
Well,
which isn't good for drag racing. It isn't. I'm not bagging on them either. No. But it's not good for drag racing because we want full stands. We want people to enjoy the show, and they put on a good show. They do. They got really fast cars on small tires, and I think that it's just my humble opinion. I think that the small tire thing is great at a lot of small tracks and events like that, but if you're trying to do a bigger track, I think that you need to have these cars running fast like Pro Mods on big tires. Just my opinion.
Well, and how many racers from NPK have been coming to these events? Do you know?
The headline racers, there's only been a handful, like Dean and Ryan and Dave, and
I know Tom's been here at most of them, I think.
Scott Taylor. I mean, there's been some good names that go to them, but there's a lot of names that are from we'll call the OG that aren't going.
Right.
And so it's just not it's not the same as MPK. I mean, I remember MPK Ennis a couple of years ago. I went, and I mean, the stands were packed. They were. I mean, I give them kudos. They just, I mean, big payouts, and I mean, they need the merch sales and everything else. They want them to travel a lot, and I mean, I just don't. I don't know if the sustainability will be there, but I hope it is, because just like IHRA coming back, okay, we want as much drag racing in the world as possible, as much racing in the world as possible, or rally, or whatever it is. Motorsports in general is great, but anything going away is bad. Just like any track going away is bad, regardless. I mean, so
I mean, we just lost a track an hour from me. I mean, now the specifics of it.
Is that the one that shut down temporarily, quote unquote?
Yeah, it's a bunch of horse shit. I mean, it's basically a flex on some people that complain a lot, but whatever. I digress. I mean, there's a possibility it may not come back. And after going to Rocky Mountain and everything, I'm like, and I watched some of the last Speed Promotions race, and I'm like, where the hell is everybody? And the only thing I can think of is that just people are broke, Yeah. I think that people are going absolutely broke. And I know from my perspective, I love watching racing, and I like going to the races and watching racing. And when I had a local track to me that was 30 minutes from my house, I would just go to watch. We'd go 2-3 times a month. But what I'm seeing from what I think is going on with a lot of these track owners is they obviously need to make money, but they're not reinventing the business. And there's a way to do it, and they're not doing it. And if they would do what I think would work, just one track, if they tried it, it would set the tone for the rest of the tracks, and they would thrive off of it as well. And it would give some people some time to reinvent the wheel. I mean, look, my buddy Tony with the wheel stander, he posted the wheel stander for sale today because he went to 2 events and there were 100 people in the stand.
Wow.
And
but you remember our conversation with Jay Livingston up at National Trail about how to make a track successful, and he just sold that to IHRA and for an undisclosed amount of money, but I can tell you that it was a bag. But there's people. I was told in business at an early age that there's people that money sticks to and people that money doesn't stick to. Mm-hmm. Successful people breed success. And it's not about your knowledge. It's not about who you are. It's about your hard work.
Right.
And that's, at the end of the day, some of these promoters, some of these guys, and a lot of them are older, and I'm going to classify them. They're older. They're set in their ways. And I've ran this bracket program. I've ran this X track this way for 50 years, and that's the only way I'm going to run it. And Abilene was like that. Abilene was ran a certain way, and that's the way it was run. He wouldn't run any no prep events, anything else. The new guy comes in
there. Same way.
Now the new owner won't run any bracket program. He flipped 180 from where Abilene was. Yep. So what happened is Concho Valley, San Angelo, now they're running a bracket program because they knew there was a need there, and the racers are flocking there. I mean, they're flocking because there's a big gap between going to either Lubbock or going to Midland or San Angelo,
and that's where I think that, and I see what you're saying there. And there's always a need for a bracket class or race at a local track, and that you're pigeonholing yourself and you don't have it. But if you back completely out of it, right, like. You're looking at it from the bracket racer perspective. I look at it from a no prep perspective because that's what I like. But if we just back all the way out and just look at it from a bird's eye view, MPK is great and it did great things. But I also think that all the live streaming and all the, not all live streaming, but like, for instance, our local track here, right? So like, you doing live streaming of Rocky Mountain Raceway is good because it gives somebody a shot of what it's like to go there. But when there is a small tire race 10 miles up the road and there's 43 people filming the same shit, like how many people can you have filming the same shit from the same angle? Of course, these guys are going to stay home and watch the shit on TV.
You are right. I am blown away by the number of people that are streaming at XRP and Yellow Belly on any given night, and literally they are standing next to each other, talking to each other sometimes on each other's live streams.
Right.
Yeah.
You are getting this exact same shot. The only difference is it's on a monopod with a microphone.
And it's not multiple angles. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not one from the big end. It's not like. And big event. Totally get it. It should be so that people see it and go, "Shit, I want to go to that next year."
Right.
But when it's every Friday, Saturday, Sunday night, it's the same dude standing at the same racetrack. You're murdering the track, and
Yes.
and you're making it for people like kids, for instance, who like racing, are like, well, I don't really want to go sit at a hot racetrack. It's hot. And I want to wait in line for snacks. Yeah, I can just do it at home and have snacks. You see what I'm saying? Like we're breeding laziness from the inside out. And
you make an excellent point, Ryan. An excellent point, because I didn't even think of that side of it. But there's also there's good live streams, bankshift.com. And then there's bad ones. I won't say anybody, but there's plenty of out there. But you bring a valid point. The other thing is that you don't have to wait for results anymore. I mean, you can find out within 30 seconds of an NHRA final who won. I mean, it used to be that you had to wait for it to air, or it had to be live, or anything else. And I'm just using NHRA as an example. But I mean, that's what killed MPK, is because you had so many people live streaming it off their phone and everything else. I mean, the OG MPK was the Outlaw Armageddon in Oklahoma. That was the first real MPK, without saying it was MPK. And I was there. And there wasn't a lot of live streaming because there's no freaking signal in Noble, Oklahoma. There's nothing, especially when you get fans in the stands. There's nothing there. You can't stream anything, and it was the perfect place to do it because you couldn't stream. You couldn't get signal. I mean, we couldn't run credit cards in the freaking trailer. Okay, right. I mean, we're right now. That's legit. Yeah. So I mean, the problem is that they killed their own events because they allowed all this stuff to happen. You almost need to have an event and have a signal jammer that basically says only 911 gets in and out. I mean, which is possible.
It's frustrating as shit. Okay, for me to watch, I'll be clicking on TV at night on YouTube, and there'll be 350 people standing in the street racing. And I say street racing, they're watching other people street racing. Don't get me wrong, I love street racing. That is my bread. That's like my heart. I love it. But it's frustrating when you see 350 people in a street standing around, but then I have my buddy who's running a wheel standard saying there's only 100 people in the stand at a big event. Like, just packed, And so there was a local guy here that was trying to run a track for a little bit, and they tried to run another track for a little bit, and it was a really bad deal. It was all bad. We all know which ones they are. But he had a really solid plan. He's like, if you are going to live stream, you're going to pay me to come in the gate. You're going to pay me $250 minimum, because that's what you're costing me. That's probably a third of what you're costing me through the gate. So, I believe that if you're there to make a video about what you're doing, and you're trying to use that to fuel people to get out and do something, that's one thing. But if you're standing there holding a stick with a camera on it for 8.5 hours, buddy, you're paying me some money, because you're making money on that right now. So if it's not enough money, if you're not making enough of what it costs you to do it, and guess what? You won't be back next week.
Here's the other side of that, though, is that track promoters, track managers are outdated. Okay. It's kind of like when we had the discussion about, you can put 20 banners up for $500 a piece, or you can get 5 banners for $5,000 a piece. Okay. Right. Okay. they don't understand math in today's economics, and they don't understand that, you know what, more companies I have on board, the more companies are going to tell their employees to come out and support the track, everything else. The other thing is that when it comes to bringing a spectator in the track, I mean, Circle Track's figured out a long time ago. Charge $5-10 and then charge them $5 for a beer. Okay. You pack the stands. Okay. That's how you do it. I mean, they've been doing it for years. Drag race facilities are like $20 for a spectator. I'm like, why don't you have a family night? Why don't you have a pack the car night, and you charge $20 for the entire car, and you know what? I don't care if you got 8 guys packed into a freaking 2-door sedan, they all get in for $20. I mean, there's things that track operators can do to get more people in the stands and get more things done and help behind. The problem is they're so set in their ways that, you know what, we've always charged, $15-20 a head for a spectator, for a crew member, and they're not willing to do anything different. They need to adjust with the times and be able to market themselves better. And I don't think it's just not happening. And that's part of the problem. The streamers are a problem, but that's also a problem in itself. They don't think of new ways to do things. They just basically stick with what's done for the last 10-15 years or however long they've been operating this track.
Well, I've been saying for years that one of the things that people don't seem to understand is that whether it's me and Steven or you guys individually or a family of 5, when people go to an event, and when I say an event, I'm going to say a venue. When they go to dinner, when they go to a movie, when they go to a baseball game, a drag race, a concert, anything, they have a set amount of money that they are budgeted. Everybody does that. Unless you're independently wealthy, even if you don't consciously say, I'm spending $100 tonight, you've got a number in your mind, right?
Yeah.
And so the thing about it is, if my number is $60, I'm going to spend $60. Okay. Period. Unless you take me to town on the coming in, which then makes me go, man, I can't, I'm going to blow my wad, and all I'm going to do is get a beer and a hot dog after that gate entry instead of charge $5 and I feel like I got a deal. And then I'm happily spending my other $55 buying a t-shirt, buying a hot dog for the kids, etc. Right. And good guys used to do, I don't know if they still do or they don't, they used to do a family pack at their events. And you could, when you bought your tickets, you could buy a family meal pack. And it was literally for a family of 4, and it was 4 hot dogs, 4 fries, or 4 chips, whatever it was, and 4 drinks. And it was like $20 or something. It was literally half the price of buying the things individually. And they did it so that families could come in and afford to be there and have fun and buy the kids a t-shirt and whatever. That stuff matters.
Well, it does. And the thing is, like, from the spectator standpoint, it definitely matters, right? That money is a factor because, listen, if you're a fan of racing and you're not racing, then that mostly means probably you can't afford to race, but you can afford to go and watch racing. Okay. And the thing about the spectator portion of it, that's super important. But then you have the racer side of things. And what I've seen going on lately with some of these track owners, well, there's a damn good reason why you're not filling up the track. If you're dipping into the pockets of the racers who are bringing the show to your race and you're taking money out of the pot that they put in, they put the fuel in their rig, they put the fuel in their race car, they did their maintenance, they drove to your facility to race. They're buying their tech car to get in, paying for their people that are riding with them, and then they're going to get there and they're going to put money in a pot, and then you're going to dip your hand in the pot? No, sir. Your job is to market your facility so that they pay you what you need to get out of the gate. You have your concessions, and listen, what do you think the most important part of owning a racetrack is besides the glue? Keeping the lights on in the water? Well, I guarantee you concessions is probably pretty freaking high too. Okay. So if you can't have enough money to keep the lights on, but you want to keep your track running, why don't you quit using the concession stand you can't keep staffed and quit buying the food you're making pennies on the dollar on, and have food trucks come out and set up. Give them an opportunity to sit still for a little bit and make some money. Charge them a vendor's fee. Then, hey, how about this? You got local racers? Why don't you charge them a membership fee? $100 a month. I know I would pay for it, right? $100 a month. You get 100 racers. That should probably pretty much pay for maybe the taxi or the glue or the lights or the water, the things that you complain about that you can't keep on. But you're not reinventing the wheel here. You're just an asshole with 48 acres with a stretch of concrete on it, and you're a lazy ass and can't figure it out. And you're the reason that racing is dying too. So you got live streamers on one end, you got lazy owners on the other, and it's just a freaking mess. And if people would get their heads out of their asses, then they could reinvent the wheel of drag racing. But if we keep losing tracks and people don't keep, go and fill the stands and keep these places open, or what we love is going to eventually, may not right now, but eventually it's going to be really long drives to go do what you want to do.
Absolutely. No doubt.
Well, I used to always say that the biggest cost to go drag racing was the fuel to get there and back and the food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that was it. I mean,
I guarantee you I'm going to go spend $250 just to take Jake to race his truck Sunday.
Yes.
By the time I get there, it's an hour and 40 minutes from me. By the time we eat, get something to drink, fuel up everything, I'm going to spend $250 easy.
Yeah.
I mean, I got 2 guys going with me to Concho, so it's $20 a piece for them plus $100 entry. So that's $140 plus the diesel fuel there and back. It's an hour and 15 minutes from the house. So it's basically a tank of diesel. We call that, what it is, basically $50 or whatever. I mean, it's like, I'm $200. I'm $200, and that's if I don't have to buy back. Okay, if I have to buy back, then I'm more than that. So it's one of those things. And if I am lucky enough to win something come Saturday, I share that with the guys that help me. So 20% of that goes to each one of them after my expenses.
I'll definitely be there on Saturday then.
Okay. It's the way I've always done stuff.
Ryan? Are you listening to that whole, sharing the wealth part?
Yeah.
I cover their expenses, their gate fees, anything else they want, food, that's fine. I cover it. But if I happen to win something, I always share because it's a team effort. It always is. And I mean, you can't turn down good help, and good help's hard to find. And so, I mean, that's the other thing. A lot of these racers, they don't understand that, their buddies volunteer, and all of a sudden they disappear. Well, they disappear because you know what? You happen to win $2,000 one weekend. Yeah, you've spent a lot more of that through the year. But if you don't share a little bit with that when you have the success, they don't want to help you.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I think the drag racing community as a whole has got to figure out how to do better. I just all the way around. And you know what? And one of the biggest things, I'll leave it with this because I'm done. I did. Levi's right. I'm telling you how it really is. But I love it. I love it. Some of you fat freaking mouth breathing freaking bitching, moaning, groaning sacks of shit need to go home and smash your freaking phone with a hammer, okay? Because your stupid freaking comments about how it freaking rained when you wanted to go do what you wanted to go do, and that's somehow the track's fault. You, sir, need to go take your head and shove it right up your ass, and don't come back up for air until you're ready to think like a normal human being, because you're part of the reason why a track shut down, because they're sick and tired of your fat mouths. Period. End of discussion. Bam. That's it. Sorry, I'm done.
Preach, Brother Ryan. Preach.
God dang, dude. Yeah, just be happy. Just go to the fucking racetrack, race your shit, enjoy your family and your friends, and shut the fuck up. Your shit was slow anyway. It's concrete. It's not the concrete. Your car is slow. You don't know what you're doing. You suck at life.
Exactly.
God, who tuned him up tonight?
I don't know any better way to end the show than that. And we've been live for 2 hours. Steven and I are on empty on the tank. And so we're going to call it a night tonight. But really appreciate all of you guys joining us tonight. Thanks to Steven for being dumb enough to say, "Yay, let's build vibes for Derek's show," and for hanging out and having fun this week. But we are wiped. We still have more work to do for the next day and a half. But again, appreciate all of you guys. And Aaron, thanks for checking on me earlier and bugging me to get us a show in. And Ryan, take a breath, easy.
Woosah.
Be
That was
sure
awesome.
check
That was
out
awesome.
Be sure to check out the tailgate throwdown. It's freaking going down October. Okay, we're doing truck stuff, and then be sure to check out Moonshiner Garage. Go over there and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be doing stuff over there with Tom. It's going to be badass. We got a badass video we're going to be working on this weekend, so we'll have it out sometime next week. We appreciate your support, but we gotta build it up because now Thomas has bought a car to come to Rocky Mountain Race Week next year because he watched the video and he loved it so much. He went out the next morning and bought a drag and drive car. So
Nice.
yeah, so
That's awesome.
good stuff.
Absolutely.
I love you
All right,
guys.
boys and girls. Thank you so much, everybody. We will see you in 2 weeks. Yes, lots of hugs from Ryan.
Sorry, I apologize.
Oh no, you have no
Don't,
apology.
don't.
Yeah,
I love it.
I don't apologize. If somebody wants me to apologize, KMA.
yeah, exactly.
I said what I said.
Yeah, I said what I said, and that's what I said.
That's what I said.
All right, boys and girls, we'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us.
Later.
Peace out.